Hi, welcome back for Candy Coated Shenanigans, Sour Patch Kid edition. I hope everybody had a great week. I had a beautiful week. And today's area of concentration is dating chronicles. So we're going to get into this a little bit, and then I'm going to let you guys go and enjoy your day. I would love if people drop down below in the comment section anything that in your area of dating chronicles, if you're dating now, if you were dating before, anything that was maybe like a pet peeve, things you wish people did differently, said to you differently, those type of things. I always like to see what the climate is, how people felt during their time of dating, whether it's now or in the past. And let's talk about it. Clearly a lot of this stuff is going to be coming from more my vantage point. I will try to tie in and mix in things that allow for other perspectives that have been given to me to be incorporated. Maybe I'll get to a point where I'm actually inviting some guys to come on and talk about dating, things they've went through. We'll see if they're comfortable with that. But things they went through, their pet peeves in dating, because we all have pet peeves, right? We all have things that we don't mind, and we all have things that are like a deal breaker. Like, nah, bro, it's annoying. So we will talk about it. I'm into discussing almost anything without it being too much, because some stuff is just private information. So welcome to the channel. I actually have something specifically that I want to discuss, so I'm pulling it up on this other phone. I got two phones. Don't ask me why I got two. Just no, I do. So this week's topic on Dating Chronicles is the WYD. I have a certain feeling about WYD. I am you. I am why. When I'm gonna see you, those type of things. But what I had done a couple of weeks ago is I posted a meme to a group chat. Or a group page. It wasn't more so a chat because it wasn't private. It was a group page where it's nothing but people that are young, they are Black, and they're single, and they're dating, and they're mingling. And I just posed a question in reference to WYD, but I had to incorporate some text interaction that occurred. This is not I'm gonna read it to y'all, but this is not my text message. I did not send this to someone, but I felt sis when she typed her response to him. So I shared it, and that share ended up drumming up about a good 300 comments, both men and women, and their take on WYD, what it means to opposite sex. And I have some suggestions that I think are going to help people moving forward, right? Because with anything that I am bringing to this channel in any of the areas that I am, is to help people, right? I talk about self-care, I talk about money, I'm going to talk about dating chronicles, I'm going to do transparent moments, but everything that I'm bringing is to, in some way, shape, or form, impact or be helpful. So this is no different. You know, we're going to see how this goes, but this is no different. So this is the way the text went. He sends WYD. She says, let me explain something to you. ... Now, when she said the ... I already knew whatever was going to be below it was going to be a blast that he probably wasn't ready for. But let me read what she responds. All of that WYD, I am you, when I'ma see you, that's out. The next time you think you miss me, make plans for us to do something. Reservations, confirmation, receipts, something. I get bored really fast and I'm getting bored. Tighten up, or GTFOH. So let me rewind. If you are not into texting as much, or maybe you don't get these type of messages from people and you're watching this just to support me, thank you. But I'm going to explain a little bit just in case you don't know. WYD is what you're doing. It's not what are you doing. It's not how are you. It is not I can't wait to spend time with you. This none of those things. It is what you're doing. That's what it stands for. That's what it represents. I am you is the same as I am why, which is I miss you. We're just going to leave that where it's at. I am you. I miss you. And clearly, when I'm going to see you, pretty direct question. Dumb, but a direct question. And then you have GTFOH. TFOH, which is get the F out of here. So she was a little bit direct by the time she hit the end of that message. And when I posted this was simply what the question was. Why do men YUD you, so what you doing, to death? It is constantly something that you will see that pop up in text messages in the texting world. And I just kind of wanted to know why men do it and what they think they're going to get for a response. What this turned into was a whole back and forth. Some people were debating, other people were having conversation. I did it for dialogue. I don't need to debate you. I know how I feel when I get it, but I would love to have a back and forth dialogue on what you think it is versus how a lot of women perceive it to move forward. But one of the biggest things was, first of all, I found out that I was not the only female that does not like to be WYD'd to death. That there are a lot of women out there that are receiving a WYD multiple times throughout the day. And one of the things that was most mentioned was the fact that after it's said and you respond, that the conversation kind of goes dead. And it makes people think that you WYD because you don't know how to properly communicate. Maybe that's not true for you, right? Maybe it's not true. But keep these things in mind as you're texting women, that if you have a group of women and a nice percentage is saying, I don't like it because there's no substance behind it, if you're trying to come to her with purpose and intention, you might want to switch it up a little bit. And then you had the male perspective, which was completely different in their mind frame of what WYD meant. They're just like, we're just checking in. We wanted to know what you're doing. Like, how is your day going? All these different things. And how they felt there was nothing wrong with WYD. And I do want to preface and say, your comfortability with the messages you get are completely on you. That's your own thing. It's okay. If you're okay with WYD, continue to be okay with it. I'm not trying to change your mind. Stick with it. It's okay. But it's not an okay thing for me. I work Monday through Friday. I'm not going to hold you. If a man is saying WYD to me throughout the day on a Monday through Friday between the hours of 8:30 and 4 p.m., because you might not know my work schedule, so I'll say 8:30 to 4 p.m., my response is going to be working. You sent me 3 letters, and I'm going to send you 7. Okay, that's max, 7 max. But I'm very, very vocal about me not liking that WYD stuff. It's annoying. What do you want? Where's the conversation going? Like, is there substance to this or is there not? But what I did want to do is I want to read to you a male response, which I found very interesting. Maybe I was intrigued. Me and him went back a little bit back and forth in some dialogue. I could understand what he was saying. I didn't agree with it, but I understood what he was saying. So I'm going to share it with you. So remember what I said about the WYD? The shorty went in. I ain't going to hold you. She went in. She was pissed, right? She's tired of y'all WYDing her. And a lot of us females felt the same way. Okay, I'm already a Sour Patch Kid, so I can't just be go out here telling people off the way she did. But I ain't gonna hold you. It was in my mind. So this is what he said. Clearly, I'll keep his name private. This is dumb to me. WYD means, are you busy at the moment? Why call if you are busy? Why set up plans if you are busy? Now I have to cancel everything. Or I'm getting on your nerves because I'm calling randomly while you are busy. Laugh out loud. WYD is important when dealing with a career/businesswoman. They are always busy with their hustle. Damn, when has it become so complicated where men can no longer ask simple questions without a woman freaking out about it? Like constantly canceling plans or quick/unanswered calls isn't annoying on our end because we assumed you were available. Hey, I get it though. Most think everything is strictly about the woman and her experience in dating, relationships, and marriage, right? So that was his response. Thank you, sir. Clap, clap, clap. I'm glad you articulated what you felt that WYD stood for. And then I responded and clearly just said, one, I want you to know that everything is not about us. Clearly he's been through some things, but whatever. Everything's not about us. And being a career/businesswoman and having discussions with them and reading these comments below, like I said to y'all, it's like a good 300 comments, male and female. It's not a simple WYD that sets this all off. It's the repetition of it all the damn time. I've been WYD'd to death. I don't respond. What I'm doing is none of your damn business if you can't formulate real sentences. I'm just saying that. That's me personally. Maybe it works differently for other people. And then I expressed him, me saying I'm doing something doesn't and shouldn't stop someone from asking for my time. Also, as long as WYD is followed with a conversation, it's cool. If not, then don't send the shit. People send it, you respond, and then it gets dry. That's dumb to me. And it's dumber that people think that WYD is a good form of communication, because it's not. First of all, let's just unravel this, right? WYD is saying, what are you doing? What you doing is you're really saying, but I'm gonna, speak properly, and it's saying, what are you doing? When you receive that, you have a couple of feelings, right? Maybe if it's the first one of the day, you're like, hey, I'm working. Then what am I supposed to say? Am I supposed to say, how about you? Am I supposed to leave it where it is? Do you think you're supposed to get sentences from me? And it is different. I'm not gonna hold you. It's a WYD from a man that is trying to get to know me is going to be a bit different than a WYD from one of my friends. If my friends are asking me, what are you doing? It's with intent. Very quickly, if they need some advice, if they are calling me because it's shenanigans, something is going on, like they're very intentional in the what you doing component. I won't know that from you as a stranger. And I guess, yeah, that is part of the process of getting to know people, but what you doing is not going to help you in my department. And it seems that it's not going to help you in a lot of women's department if there is not follow-up. So just be mindful as you are texting this, as you're responding with this, as you send it multiple times throughout the day. Maybe you're not conscious of what you're sending to people. But if you are getting a dry response to that, that probably is why, because sis does not like it. Now, one thing we did talk about, and I am always trying to make sure I'm looking at things from both perspectives, though I did not agree with his response and his thought process of how women, especially career and business women, take what you're doing or don't like being interrupted or whatever else he felt. What I can say in the overall communication between the man that texts WYD and her response is, it seems that there is a lack of communication properly on both sides. It's not all just him, right? So him, if he's new in your life and he's coming in, he is clearly going to do things that he's done in the past. Maybe WYD was fine in the past and you don't like it. If somebody is doing something you don't like, it's simple. It's just simple. Hey, I know you like to send WYD. Can you just say something else, right? Put a smile at the end. Maybe you call the person up, put a chuckle with it. You can smooth out the delivery and still do a good job of communicating. I don't like to go in on people. I goes in, okay? You can ask my friends. I goes in, but I don't like to go in on people if I don't have to. If there's a way that I can communicate better, like this is not working for me, I will try that first. And then I hit a point where I've just had enough. And that's usually when I am going in because I've communicated what my wants and needs are and you are just not understanding them and it becomes an irritation for me. I don't know if sis did that, but I do want to say to all of the ladies and all of the men out there that if there is something that someone is doing in the getting to know you stage and you don't like it, give them the opportunity, I guess, to correct it unless it's all the way to the left, and then leave it alone. You don't have to be mean to people. You don't have to go in on people. But I do think people need to come a bit more correctly. If you want something different in life, you're going to have to approach some things a little bit differently. If you have WYD'd people to death and multiple times you've had women not be too interested based off of that, maybe that's telling you something. Sis went off. A lot of us in the comments, me included, understood where she was coming from or what the frustration was. And then, so with anything, like I said, I like to give a corrective, like what sounds better, what works better, what can intrigue women. So I get it. What are you doing? It's a thing for y'all. It's simple. WYD. It's going to get some simple answers too. But things that would pique a woman's interest is, how has your day been? Did you have tons of meetings today? What are your plans after work? Can I take you out? I liked our conversation last night, blase blah. These are all things that will allow women to open up. It probably will add a smile to her crazy, hectic day, if that's how her work schedule is, or whatever day she has. It'll add a smile. It's you simply providing a form of communication, and then the ball is in her court. And if it's dry from there, then she just might be a dry person. Maybe she's not the one for you. But I do feel that you will get a lot further with questions like that than WYD. I can tell you, anybody who has made it past a initial talking phase was not a WYD initially. Maybe you got comfortable in the relationship or wherever we went to then be like WYD, and I give you a quick response and we go about the day. But that's not how it started. And if it is how it started, it didn't go anyplace, because that's not how I like to communicate. Use your words, pick up the phone, call me. We can chat it up, whatever, but don't WYD people to death. Do something different. And also keep in mind that, especially in an age of social media with COVID and people using any platform possible to communicate, there are probably a lot of other people that are messaging her the same thing. So if you want to stand out, stand out. If you want her to view you differently, come differently. Don't look like everybody else, or you're going to be put in a category like everybody else. And I know that sounds harsh, right? Like, give each person their own shot. Let's be realistic. Y'all got certain stuff like y'all not going for either. Y'all don't like, maybe you don't like OnlyFans, maybe you don't like this, maybe you don't like that. Like, as soon as you see, or that is something like an inkling, you're like, oh nah, I ain't going for that. She do this, she do that. Like, you guys have the same thing. WYD just seems to be something that is a lot more vocalized on both sides. So you think it should not be that, have that much meaning, but it does for people. It shows, for some people, it shows your level of maturity. It shows your ability to have conversation beyond what you're doing, or lack thereof of conversation. So if you are just trying to approach this and get something different, come different. It's not to say you can't ask that question throughout the day, but ask her other stuff too. Did you eat lunch? What are you having for dinner? Make some plans with her. Take her out somewhere. Surprise her with a nice message. You know, like, we like those things. And when you're receiving those, as well as whatever else you're receiving, those things will stand out to her. They definitely stand out to me, and then we can move forward. I'm also going to tell you that be intentional with your words. Stop using words and thinking that people are universally going to think that that's what that means, and that's not what you asked. It's not what you asked. I actually love having that conversation with people when they say something and they'll be like, well, you know what I meant. If I know you, maybe. With my friends, yeah, and I still be like, yeah, but you should have said that a little differently. But if I don't know you, no, I don't know what you meant. I know what you said to me, and I answered what you said to me. And some people will be like, you know, you're too serious with that. No, use your words properly and wisely to get what you're trying to get, because the words you're using ain't matching up. You know, I also felt her when she said, you know, I miss you to death. Feel the same way. I asked somebody, what you miss about me? I ain't gonna hold y'all. Like, I'm not brutal, but I am very into what you say, mean what you say. So I'm not a person that throws out my emotions if that's not what I'm feeling. I've had people sit up here and ask me, like, didn't you miss me? I'm not that person that you should ask that to. And I think everybody needs to be a little bit more mindful that when we use different texts, when we are adding things to conversation, to be intentional and to understand what it is that we're saying, because all of us are not the same. So you will probably get a different response from me than most, because I'm gonna ask you what you missed about me. You better miss something that I feel is relevant, because if it's not, I'm gonna tell you about yourself. That's just me. And that works for the people that I date. It ain't for everybody, but I ain't for everybody. And I think the sooner we can realize that we're not for everybody and we are moving out here and hopefully in purpose and intent, the further we're going to get along. So I'm just going to say that. And lastly, I always say this: come correct or don't come. That's what it is. Come correct or don't come. Come being honest. Come with whatever it is that you are supposed to come with, or don't come. I think in 2021 that a lot of us have calibered up, right? I'm hoping we are. I'm hoping we're on a whole different level. I'm hoping we are trying to reach new heights, experience new things, whatever that is, whatever it looks like. So when people come into my life, there are things that I'm looking for and I'm not looking for. And when you're dating with purpose and with intent, things look a lot different. A lot of things you used to be like, oh, okay, maybe I'll see, maybe I'll work through, maybe we can work this out, ain't hitting the same. It ain't like that no more. So come correct or don't come. Take some suggestions of the world of dating and WYDing. See if you switch it up. I dare somebody to, instead of WYD, text something different and watch the difference in the level of response you receive from a woman. I promise you it. I promise you it. I promise you won't even, you'll say what you say. I guarantee you she'll be the person that sends the next text throughout the day. Because maybe she ain't heard from you in a little bit. Because she was like, oh, okay. Maybe you pop up in her mind a little bit more. Maybe you're a thought instead of just a response to her. So think about things differently. Handle things a bit differently. That's all I have for today with Dating Chronicles. Enjoy the process. It's definitely an interesting one. I tell my friends that are married now, be glad y'all married. Dating is crazy out here, especially now and with social media. But it's funny. You know, you have to find the humor in it. Clearly, I try to find the humor daily through the process. Jesus, whenever you want to send my man on down here and allow whatever is supposed to be, I'm okay with that too. I ain't gonna hold y'all. But that is it for Dating Chronicles. Tune in next week. I am going to do transparent moments. I got some tea for y'all. Not too much, because y'all ain't gonna be in my business like that. But I'll do transparent moments, and I'm really excited for the end of this month because I'm gonna have a guest come on. And I'm excited to share her a bit with y'all. So have a good evening. Thank you for tuning into, or morning, whenever you're watching this. Thank you for tuning into Candy Coated Shenanigans Sour Patch Kid Edition, where I keep it real and sweet and sour.